So I want to talk to y'all about something that's been bothering me for a little while. Probably not a little while, probably years. But I think that I've been starting to pay more and more attention to it, and I need to speak on it. So I'm very much so a big advocate of people being the best them. I'm such an advocate for mental health treatment and seeking help and talking to others and all of that stuff. I'm trying not to sound very insensitive right now because I know what I'm saying can come off as being insensitive. But please know that I'm not trying to sound insensitive. In fact, I think I'm one of the most patient and understanding people I ever met. I mean, did I meet myself? Y'all know what I'm trying to say. So, I understand that people go through things like people get depressed, people get anxious, people have bipolar disorder, major depression disorder. It's so many different things that people are facing. A lot of pressures from the outside, family issues, relationship issues, losing a child, y'all get the point. Like, there are so many different things that people go through and that people need support with. I understand when people, they turn to Facebook and Instagram and vent about what's going on. I've done it before. You crying out for help, and I understand cries for help very well. I've also gone through issues myself. However, I feel like people are using social media excessively to cry out for help. And I'm not trying to say don't don't cry out for help or don't ask for help, but it's starting to become a little excessive, and I've been noticing that people are constantly writing statuses about the issues that they're having, and to me it's getting redundant. You saying the same thing every status, or you're going through the same thing every month. And then some people even take it a step further, and I commend them because then they'll be like, oh, I'm in therapy, or oh, I'm on some type of medication. I'm like, okay, they're getting better, they want to do better for themselves. However, they still post the same statuses, the same crying out for help status. And like I said, I still understand. I get it. But at what point don't y'all see that y'all misery could potentially affect other people? And I know that I could mute somebody or unfriend them or whatever the case may be. But I don't want to do that. Like, it's like, I like you as a person, but you're like, what you're posting is starting to really affect me. And every day when I wake up, I try to pray before I get on social media just to cleanse my mind and, try to set my mind right for the day. But then I get on social media. I mean, I pray and get on social media before I even brush my teeth, wash my behind. I get on social media. That's what I do. And there's been a few times where I like wake up and the first thing I see is a really depressing status. But it's not from some random person who's, going through a crisis. It's from a person who's been struggling with their mental health for 10 to 15 plus years since they've been my friend on Facebook. Some people can be very miserable. And at some point, you have to take accountability for yourself and say, I'm waking up and making a decision to be happy for myself. Because sometimes I feel like people want to be sad. People want to be in these dark places that they don't have to be. And it's very infectious to constantly put out negativity on social media, because I come on social media I get on social media to laugh at stuff. I get on social media to connect with my people. It keeps you connected to others. But when I'm constantly getting on there and there are the same few people that constantly post, why does this happen to me? And suicidal posts and things like that. It, it, indirectly affects me. Like, I might not say nothing, but in my brain, I know that I'm feeling some type of way. And today I woke up and I just snapped. Like, I don't want to see that. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to, like, you said you went to therapy. You said you was on medication. You said you were doing the things to get yourself together, but you're not, because you want pity. You want to pity yourself. And you have to stop pitying yourself, because the minute that you decide that you made the choice that you wanted to live and that you wanted to be happy for yourself, that was the minute where you were supposed to like put your best effort. And yeah, you could go through these relapse cycles where, you know, another major event happens and you're depressed again, or it takes your depression deeper. However, happiness is a choice. Despite your circumstances, there are things that can help you be better. There are things that can help you be to where you want to be. However, if you do not want to be better, say that. Don't try to post a status every 5 minutes about how your life is some type of disaster and we're looking at you like. So there's this never ending cycle, and I just feel like at some point you have to say to yourself, like, man, I really don't want to get out. Say, for example, you lose your job. Now, because you lost your job, you feeling real bad about yourself. So now you thinking like, oh wow, you know, I don't know how I'm gonna get out of this situation. I don't know how I'm gonna pay my bills. And now your thoughts are influencing your feelings. So you're all sad and depressed now. And when you have the opportunity to do better for yourself or try to get another job, you sabotaging yourself. You start feeling depressed and sad and withdrawing from others, and not even, you know, caring about your appearance and not being able to think correctly. And then let's say you try to apply to multiple jobs and you haven't been getting anywhere with it. So now you're internalizing, like, you think you a loser, let's just say. You think you're not good enough for a job. So then therefore, when you finally get a call for a job interview, you walk in there with zero confidence. You walk in there as if you don't deserve it. You can't even think straight. Like, you giving half answers because I'm not gonna get the job anyway, right? So now you don't get the job, and then guess what? All over again, you sitting there thinking to yourself, I'm a loser. They didn't want me anyway. I told you I couldn't do it. It's just like, it's a never ending cycle. At some point, you just gonna have to get off that pity wagon, because it's not cute, and it's very self-deprecating, and it's very self-loathing. It's just it's pitiful. I don't pity people who don't want to help themselves. I can't do it. I won't do it, because there are too many people that are struggling, they really need help, and then we have these people who are just crying out for our help, draining the life out of us. If I come off too judgmental, I'm very sorry. I don't mean to come off judgmental. I'm not being judgmental. I don't think I'm being judgmental, but if you feel like I'm being judgmental, I apologize. But that is not my intention. My intention is to make sure that people have a great quality of life, and you can never have a great quality of life until you decide that you want to do better for yourself. So if you are in therapy and you're paying for therapy and you paying for meds and all that, why aren't you making sure that by any means you getting the most out of it? It's like going to college. Like, you paying all this money to go to college just to not go to class. You only hurting yourself. You know what I'm saying? Please, unless you really like are crying out for help, please do not post a status about how miserable your life is and how things keep happening in your life that keep throwing you off course. Because then you're going to get these people that hop on your status and, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, you know, call me and da 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 da. And then you say, all right, thank you. And then you don't really take their help. It's just like, what are you crying out for? I would see if you're crying out for help, and then when somebody responds, you can have that conversation. It opens up something for you with somebody else. But if you're just constantly venting and not taking help from anybody, it is pointless. And in fact, you're harming others. And I'm not going to say you're selfish, because people like to say, oh, you're selfish if you want to commit suicide and all that stuff. However, it's not fair to others for you to dump your stuff on them constantly and think that they're supposed to be okay. There are virtual therapy sessions online now. I know, especially right now, Taraji P. Henson started a virtual therapy. They're giving out 5 free sessions. Um, I mean, I guess until it runs out, but they're giving out 5 free sessions for people who are directly affected by this COVID-19 situation. And then after that, I'm not sure how much it is, but that's definitely a resource, especially if you're depressed or anxious or anything or affected by this quarantine. I definitely think that's a resource for you. There are a lot of other places that do virtual therapy. If money is an issue and you can't get therapy because maybe you don't have a job that pays for it, to cover it, I don't think that the people that you are venting to through your statuses or your posts are going to be opposed to giving you $5 to $10 through Cash App or Apple Pay or something for a session to be covered or something like that. Please, please, please get help. And if you are genuinely reaching out for help, please be open to receiving the help.